Hi, hello everyone. My name is Mr. Fruit, and welcome to this episode of the GG Over Easy podcast. I'm joined by our regular hosts, Rob the Rizzler, with his Scootza, his
You tried. Shiesty.
ah, right. Um, that's what I do when I curse in German while I'm getting feisty. I say Scheisty. Some people get that one. And I'm joined by Blue,
Hi, it's me.
and we're here today to talk about different things. We talk about, funnily enough, a little bit about sports, NBA and NFL, uh, and eSports, the real sports, League of Legends. We talk about Call of Duty, Destiny crossover. I think there was some other crossover things, other Q&A.
That was
Enjoy this
it.
episode.
Yay.
Have you guys heard of the flavored air category that is quickly becoming the leading alternative to vaping and smoking? It's a whole new movement towards better habits led by today's sponsor of the video, Fume. Fume is an award-winning flavored air device. Flavored air isn't like vaping. If vapor was compared to sticky soda, Fume cores are more like herbal teas. Fume draws flavor to your mouth. There's no nicotine, so it's not addictive. There's no toxic flavors, so it's guilt-free, no batteries, and it looks awesome. I'm telling you guys, the orange soda flavor is one of the best flavors you can have. And I like how sleek this thing looks. Fume continuously invests in third-party studies to ensure the safety of their products. Fume has served over 300,000 customers, and you can be their next success story. For a limited time, use our code GG to get a free gift with your journey pack. Head to tryfume.com. That's try, F-U-M.com, and using the code GG. Thank you, Fume, for sponsoring this podcast.
Gentlemen, welcome back to the GG Over Easy podcast episode.
247.
guys
This one again.
Yep. To all you. I said that for you guys. I
247.
know you got it.
I
You know, I'm LeBron and you're
Oh.
whatever his kid's name is. Zero
Bronny.
points still. Yeah, but I thought that was a nickname. Is it really Bronny?
Well, his name is LeBron. Like his son, like it's like his son's name is LeBron. Like he's LeBron James Jr. Like,
Oh, okay. I thought it
yeah,
was just
so
straight up like I'm
no.
LeBron, you're LeBron. Not even like LeBron
I
the
mean,
second or LeBron Jr. That
yeah,
makes
no,
sense.
it's because like on the back it says James Jr. on it.
Okay.
Yeah,
James
Oh,
Jr. Jingerheimer Schmidt. His name is my name too.
yeah. That was probably one
wow.
of the most cringe
That's a
things in
deep cut.
sports I've ever
That's a
seen.
that's a deep boomer cut, Mr. Fruit. I like that.
Thank you. I saw the little clip. It was wild thinking that, LeBron's walking out there playing with a teammate that came out of his balls. You know,
Yeah,
that's
I
kind of
mean,
wild. Like you don't see
I
that.
don't know why you had to word it
person
like that, but I get it.
personally, I wouldn't put up with
That
that.
is
You know,
crazy.
somebody on my team sleeping with my mom, I couldn't. That's not fine with me. I'm not letting
Oh,
that happen.
Oh, it's crazy.
you
I
guys are
mean, it'd
pretty
be
funny.
cool, but it was more so like he did not earn any sort of that. I
no,
mean,
it's
like,
yeah. From what I mean, I know nothing
Yeah,
about
he did
basketball,
not.
but from what I can tell, it's nepotism. But I mean, hey,
Oh,
so
you're
100%.
like I
LeBron.
love LeBron, so like I'm cool with like the nepotism. I just hate that he plays for the Lakers. So like LeBron has earned this, so like you do you, but like that kid's immediately going to the G League like right after this. So
Well, he gets his stuff. I mean, you never know. Like,
no,
I
I
wouldn't
do
be
know. Like,
surprised if
he's
LeBron's
pretty
like,
trash.
"I'll walk to keep my son." Whatever. Like he has the clout. You know what I'm saying? Like
He just wanted
has
that
the
Ken
pull.
Griffey Jr. senior pick, and he got it. So now he's like, all right, go to the G League. Yeah, like,
All right, now get out of here.
yeah, pretty much.
Uh, um, just think sports. Oh, kids. Um,
Oh,
what's his name?
got a big announcement, huh?
No, who's Cooper Manning's kid?
Arch.
It's Arch. Yeah, Arch Manning. Um, he seems like the real deal though. Not just like Bronny, where like maybe he ain't got it. It seems, from what I've
Well,
been hearing, it seems like
he's got
Arch.
Manning on the back of his jersey. He's gonna be fine.
Hey, just turn.
But it's college football. I'm not a big college football guy, so as it
True,
is.
but it aren't there already people talking about when they're gonna draft him or like certain
Yeah, but
teams
here's
already
the
like
thing with like those college kids now. Those college kids are making like like the high like draft picks are making like millions of dollars now. Like they don't need to immediately go into the NFL. So there's a lot of like players that are like, shit, I can make like 4 or 5 million just staying in college all this time when sure my signing bonus would be 20 million, but then I'm in the NFL. So it's like I could just keep running college. And that's why people say like the NIL is like a bad thing. But
Well, I mean, there's a lot of money to be had, especially if you're Deshaun Watson, who is out now. God took care of him. Um, so sorry to the Browns fans if you liked him, but good news: Browns still have their backup sex offender, so they're good to go. They're gonna be okay.
And
which
that's
one?
one of the most important things to always have a backup sex offender.
I'm trying to remember his name, but his
Jameis?
interview, maybe the interview after the game,
I
because
seen him work. I seen him put in
yeah,
that.
he's an
Yeah.
exemplary like civil servant or something like that. Well, for those that don't know, Deshaun Watson got like I think it's the biggest NFL contract. I don't know, but the bizarre thing was like $230 million or something, fully guaranteed, which is just bozo. Like dumbest thing I've ever heard of. Um, bro has maybe at this point 2 dozen sexual assault cases uh brought to him. Almost all have been settled out of court.
Hmm.
So he's quite the character. And pretty much everybody, yeah, just doesn't like him as a human being. He might be a decent football player. But
Uh,
most people, well, recently he's kind of been stinking it up.
as that boy trash, cause like
Yeah, I mean
that
he
boy
was
trash.
hustling. He was hustling. First couple of years, he's like, "Hey, I'm not that bad." And he got that
I
bag.
mean,
He's
hey,
like
first eight years
he's
ago,
like
yeah,
full
that boy nice.
he's like fully guaranteed? Oh,
Yeah.
bet. Okay, sick. Um, but anyway, he got his Achilles torn. He's out for the year after missing a whole bunch last year, whatever. Browns
Bro,
looking
that's
like
gotta
clowns.
be I'm not joking you. I think this for me, easily the scariest injury like you can kind of have. Like I don't think there's anything scarier than rupturing your Achilles. Like, have you felt your Achilles? Like how
When
thick
you can
and
see the
triumphant and
video, even through all the socks, like the little click, like,
yeah, you just see
Uh,
like the boom, 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 boom,
uh,
boom.
hey,
Yeah, like that for me, like that is like a nightmare. And like he's just doing like something he's done
yeah, he's
all
just
like
running, like he's
every
planting his
time.
foot or whatever. Like that's it. Ugh. But anyway, the big thing that came out too was he got injured, and then the crowd was either booing or cheering after the injury. It was one or the other.
Uh,
But essentially because like most of the Browns fans too, like people were saying like I've never heard the stadium this loud before. And like
yeah,
LeBron tweeted, some other people were like, "Bro, that's not cool, man." Like they're all like I think you fail to understand why they're booing. It's not because
yeah.
like
We're bad.
he's a
We're not
bad
playing
player.
well. Like,
Yeah, they're not. It's not happening like oh, it's against the Browns or like oh, he's a bad player. It's he's just a bad human being.
yeah,
And everybody was like, okay, sweet. Especially recently because they'd been asking to the fans, whatever, had been clamoring like, why are you still back? Like, can get someone
well,
else in?
you
He
you paid him
stinks.
$40 million. You have to. Like,
yeah.
You know,
No,
you have to. You
I
don't.
I definitely love LeBron, but he definitely gets into like topics without like understanding the context of why people are
yeah, he
reacting that
missed the
way.
point.
Pretty often, he pretty often like goes into topics without context. So
Yeah, he's just like, yo, Cleveland, this one's not for you. Like, can we chill? It's
Yeah,
like, come
something
on.
about like, we're not all our best, and like, we're not always playing. It's like, bro, it's not about his on
Yeah,
field
there's
performance right now.
yeah. Don't get me wrong. His on-field performance
I mean, it
nearly
has
just as bad as what he was doing outside. That boy
it's been
trash. That boy
doo doo.
trash. I mean, because I'm in a fantasy football league, I can't tell you how many times people picked him up and were like, "He's gonna be back," and I was like, "All right, enjoy that curse on your team." And before you knew it, everybody's just dropping him.
It's just so wild that football teams like. Well, actually, I was gonna say anything up until, like, killing somebody, and then maybe, but I think we've had some people who have been investigated for murder, they still play ball, so, like, they were just like
Shout out Ray Lewis.
yeah, they're like, "Are you moving the stick
That
for
boy
us? Are
nice.
you getting us the dubs?"
Well, here's my
Sweet.
thing. Okay, here's my that boy nice meter, and then here's like their human meter. Okay, if their that boy nice meter super outweighs their person meter, then I'm cool with that. But as soon as it like we start straying, like that boy nice meter's kind of down here by their like shitty person, it's like, all right, dude. Well, you can't afford to be who you want to be, so I'm over it. Get out of here.
I am not quite the same. typically for the most part, yeah, if there's reasons to
Like Rogers
outside
for
the
you.
ball,
Like you have like a love-hate
Rodgers
relationship.
has been a love-hate, um, mainly because he's just saying the dumbest stuff. Um, he's at least not there's no legal things against him, but I liked him better when he just played ball, when he just stayed on left it on the field. Um, Now he's just kind of rip bows at one. So is Jets. Like, I don't think Rodgers is gonna fix whatever's going on there. He's not even playing that well. But that's a whole other story. Point is, for me, there's really no point at which, like, if there's enough against you as a person that I'm ever gonna root for you. But I feel bad because I was watching the Steelers game the other day, and I just can't help but thinking I hate the Steelers. Not because of the Steelers, but because I've always linked them with Roethlisberger.
Oh.
Um, and I just can't get that connection out of mind. So now I'm watching Steelers, and I'm just immediately like, "Oh, it's the rapist." But then I'm like, "Oh, wait, they don't have him anymore." Um, but that's how I connect them. So
Yeah,
yeah,
but now they got the
typically,
corniest quarterback in the league with Russell Wilson, who's corny.
who's
Like
3rd
fake
string,
positive. Ugh.
but bro, sitting there again, bro. I mean, if you love the game, you maybe hate people saying stuff about, but also, bro, you got the bag. You're doing nothing, getting how much?
Do you do you guys believe in toxic positivity?
Oh fuck
Like
yeah, dude.
somebody who's just like too positive to the
Yes.
point where it's like, "Oh my god, please shut the
No,
fuck up."
100. No,
Like
100%.
For sure.
Toxic positivity. People are like, you can't be too positive, and it's like, yeah, well, trust me, big guy,
oh,
you can be too
you can.
positive. You could be too positive to the point where like you ignore criticism, and at that point, it's
Now,
like,
I guess if I had to choose, if there was 2 evils, would I have somebody who's just always negative or always positive?
oh fuck the
I'd
always,
probably choose the positive.
nah, fuck the
But,
always
Really?
positive.
nah, but see,
It'd be
at least,
close for me.
negative just keeps bringing me down. I don't like either, but if it was, just black, white, you gotta choose one, probably go toxic positivity. It still pissed me off, but maybe a little less
It both
than the
suck.
negative.
Both suck for me because like with the negative, it's like, yeah, like that would probably always bring me down. But with the positive, it's like, okay, so like I can never have
Yeah.
any, I can never ever be negative in any sort of capacity. So
Like for me, it's like in different like in a workplace, I'd rather be with somebody who's negative. But like let's say like in like I don't know, everyday life, I would probably prefer the person who's always positive. But like if we're like in a work environment and like I'm just not into it and this person's like, "Come on, pick up your head and let's like really work at this." Like you can like I just want to be like, "Shut the fuck up." Like
Alright,
and
Bill.
that's what Russell Wilson is. Russell Wilson's like, "Come on, guys, like here we go. Let's go team. Like here we go team. Like let's shut up." Like for me like as an old athlete, like if you were on my team, I'd be telling you shut up. Like don't talk to me. Like I don't need that.
Also, when he's just trying to be positive, it's like, "Bro, you gotta start
We're
pulling your
down
weight first
30.
off." Yeah, it's like, "Bro, let's get to the root of the problem here. Kinda starts with you, okay? So, you're telling us, but you're bringing us down."
nothing is worse. Nothing is worse than the person bringing your team down. For them to be the one like, all right, guys, it's all right. Let's pull it back up. We're okay. It's like you you pull it back up. You be okay.
"Oh, we'll be okay." Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, there's really no they can just be like, "Guys, my bad. I'll do better." But if
Oh
they're gonna
yeah.
sit there, "Guys, let's rally." I'll be like, "Bro, we would if we didn't have you."
Yeah, let's say and like let's also keep this in mind. This is also in like very hyper competitive like spots. Like this isn't
Yeah,
like
we're
if we're
talking
just
about
like queuing
NFL.
like yeah,
Yeah,
like we're talking that kind of level. It's not like oh, in an unranked league game, it's like you fucking like you
yeah.
better.
Even most probably ranked,
Nah, see
if
when ranked
somebody
like I'm serious. Like we're playing ranked.
but, I don't know if I take any at least these days, if I take anything that serious.
Like one time I came down, Sydney was playing league, and it's like 8 in the morning. You know, doing what she does normally. You know, playing some league before work. And I just see her
She's
sitting in the
gone,
fountain,
bro.
and I'm like, "What are you doing?" She goes, my luck said I was basically AFK, so now I'm showing her
So
what
now
really
I
being
am.
AFK is." I was like, "Hell yeah, babe,
Dude,
like, you
she
be"
is that
and I
toxic player, bro.
and
That's
I was like
crazy.
I was like, "Babe, it's just unranked, like, who cares?" Like, and she goes, "No, it's just ranked." I went, "You queued rank and you're doing this?" And she goes, "Yeah," and I was like
I wanna ask her questions. I've always wondered what goes through the mind of those people when I play with them, and now I have access to somebody that's who they are.
Now I have
Yeah.
access to a normie.
Well, she said basically that like they said she was doing nothing, so she was like, "All right, let me show you what nothing really is. Like, let me show you what doing nothing actually is."
Still never get that. Because at the end of the day too, like, okay, so you're just guaranteeing you're gonna lose too. Like, and now you're
Yeah, but
just like,
she
are you
doesn't care
having fun?
actually about losing. Like she doesn't that part doesn't care. Like she doesn't really care about climbing at all. She just wants to play League.
That's bizarre. Not only that, but then I'm sitting there too, like, I'm just wasting my own time. I might as well play, but
Yeah.
different mindsets
You'll
over there.
have to
That's
ask her
crazy.
while we're at Worlds. You'll have to ask.
Yeah, which we'll be leaving, or at least I fly out from the time this podcast goes live 3 days. Um, we're headed to
Oh, you're
London. I
leaving
think
like
we talked
super
about it.
early.
Well, no, after the time this podcast goes live, which we're
Oh,
like
okay.
Sunday. So yeah, I'm leaving Wednesday, the
Okay.
30th. And then because of time, whatever, I'll be there 31st.
Hmm.
And then we're gonna go to the World's Finals in London, for League of Legends.
Have you guys heard of the flavored air category that is quickly becoming the leading alternative to vaping and smoking? It's a whole new movement towards better habits led by today's sponsor of the video, Fume. Fume is an award-winning flavored air device. Flavored air isn't like vaping. If vapor was compared to sticky soda, Fume cores are more like herbal teas. Fume draws flavor to your mouth. There's no nicotine, so it's not addictive. There's no toxic flavors, so it's guilt-free, no batteries, and it looks awesome. I'm telling you guys, the orange soda flavor is one of the best flavors you can have. And I like how sleek this thing looks. Fume continuously invests in third-party studies to ensure the safety of their products. Fume has served over 300,000 customers, and you can be their next success story. For a limited time, use our code GG to get a free gift with your journey pack. Head to tryfume.com. That's tryfum.com and using the code GG. Thank you, Fume, for sponsoring this podcast. If you watch the Ham Life, whatchamacallit, who was it? BLG.
Yeah,
That was peak,
that's
bro.
crazy.
The double Galio, like
All the
I
different
knew when
angles they
like
got at too. Like you couldn't even
we'll see that forever now. Like that'll be like the OBJ catch for
bro.
like League. Like
Next World Cinematic, like the hype song,
yeah.
that's in the movie. In that little bit,
Well, it was
it's
funny.
gonna
Like I
happen.
was watching, I was like, how are there two Galios? Like my mind was like blown, and I was like, oh,
What?
Silas, like
I was
or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Not
There's been
Silas.
some great games. Funnily enough, then there was like the T1 series, which is just like 3-0 stomp, GG go
Yeah.
next. Um, but then just briefly talk about it. The FlyQuest versus
Gen
um
G.
Gen G quarterfinals. It was the last quarterfinals we played at the League of Legends World Championships. For those unaware, we're into the top 8 of the worlds. Every team, aside from FlyQuest, is China or Korea.
Mm-hmm.
No surprise. And FlyQuest, plenty of allegations about how they got lucky. They didn't deserve to be there. And I'm not going to say
They're wrong.
they're wrong because the draw they got was like
Pretty lucky.
essentially they were handed
There
the
are
top
there's
8.
always one team I feel like with Swiss, especially with how League has Swiss set up, is very
Well,
like
it was funny because before that happened, someone made a Reddit post about how with the league's format, if there was 8 international teams and 8 teams full of literal chimps, actual like 5 monkeys, they said statistically speaking, most of the time, one team of chimps will make it to top 8.
yeah.
And then the next day, FlyQuest qualified because of that. And then the memes were not like, oh, that dude was right. The chimps made it. They were FlyQuest. Feels bad. So it was like I was going in like, I mean, yeah, NA got
Yeah.
top 8, but like, come on, man. Like we're
And
just
then another added context to this, FlyQuest was NA's #1 ranked team because they won the summer split off basically Winions, where Team Liquid didn't clear the base fast enough, and so they won by Minions in their last game. So they got like the higher seed, which also definitely I think helped a little bit with their draws.
so they were headed
Um,
into Gen G, who although they
David versus
lost,
Goliath almost.
oh, easy. Um, went into the Korean finals, for their domestic ones this year, and actually came in as a 2nd seed because, they barely lost the finals in Korea. But to put it in perspective, if I remember the number correctly, throughout this last year, and especially in Korea, because Korea, their normal games are always best of sets. I think Genji was something like 41-3 in best of sets for the entire year. So one of those was the finals in that. They also won MSI, and just
They would have been on
clearing
a
right now.
golden road if they won
Mhm.
Summer LCK.
They've been, I mean, just, like, nearly unstoppable. So FlyQuest coming in, I'm like, "G Hey, you guys made it. Have fun."
Yeah, exactly. It's like, hey, we made top 8. Europe
Yeah.
didn't make top 8. Suck it. Like we won.
Yeah.
Like we won.
Yeah,
Like we won
FlyQuest
our
had in
worlds.
G2. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, it's just
But hey, I was pretty mad copium. I was like, hey, we're gonna get. I said we're gonna get a game off them, and all my friends were like, no, no, we're not.
that
We're
was
not
my
getting a
bar
game.
of, like, I'll be
I'm
ecstatic.
happy.
Yeah, 1 game, way to go, boys. Wake up early, start watching. Sure enough, I'm watching game
See,
1.
you watched it live. That must have been hype. I slept.
Oh,
I
it
was
was
gonna
hype.
watch the VOD.
Game 1. FlyQuest staying even, gets a little early lead, but at the same time, even though they're in the lead, classic Korea, bro, they're just so good at macro, like, you're never in the lead. They're still like, I'm like, "How is it this close?" But then boom, we get some
Well,
crazy
it's
team
funny.
fights, we get in the
Like
lead.
I was explaining to Heron, who's now into League of Legends, who kind of like has been playing. And I was explaining to him like professional scene. I was like, Worlds is going on right now. I was like, you can watch Worlds and like see how like the best players in the world play it. And he goes, how much better are they than us? Like, how do you know? And
Oh, it's
I went, okay, let's queue. I went, let's queue a game. Okay. And like he plays like top at that point. And I was like, okay, just play your game. And I was like, at 20 minutes, I'll tell you how you compare to a top laner on like a top Korean team. And so 20 minutes came. I think he was like at 82 CS or something like that. And I was like, okay, at 20 minutes, 369 is at 220 CS.
and then
And he's
probably,
like,
like, level-wise, and
yeah.
then
And he's
also
like,
objectives.
yeah, he's like, how does that? He's like, how is that even possible? I was like, they never like whenever they see like they you don't really understand unless you play League. It's like they roam around the map just perfectly enough where they don't miss any of the CS in their lane. Like they don't miss under tower.
Perfect
Like
wave management.
yeah, and it's like you just have to watch like, and you only will really understand it when you've played League for like more than like 200-300 hours.
Wild. But with that said, FlyQuest wins game 1. I'm already freaking out. I'm like, "Oh my god."
Is that
But
when
then
you
I'm
had
like,
texted me like, "Are you up right now watching this?" Is that when you
that's
had
after
texted
game
me?
3."
Oh, okay.
Uh, so game 1, they win. I'm crazy. I'm hyped. I was like, "Oh my god, they looked good." Like, I'm already over the moon. Like, I'm not getting excited jumping to conclusions like, "Oh my god, we're
Like
gonna
we're
win this
gonna
best of 5."
win, like
Yeah, but I'm like, "Wow. All right, that was it. You've already hit the bar. Like, way to go, boys. I'm proud." Game 2, Jinji comes out. Um, definitely just get ahead earlier and take the advantage as most, Eastern teams do. We didn't look bad, but we still lost, and I was like, "Okay, a little more of what I expected." Then game 3 comes around, it's a repeat of game 1, except I think they even went a little harder, and I'm like, "Oh my god." So it's up 2-1, and no one's
well,
taken, Gen G to a game 5 that they haven't, like, lost whatever in, like, forever,
and I think
and I'm
it's
like,
like
"Oh my
important
god."
to say here, when you see West versus Korea, you always see the West play Korea's game. You see them picking
Mhm.
like what Korea wants. Like, Korea always has these like rotation of like 9 to 10 champs that like, or let's say like 13 because of like bans and stuff. So like some they know they're banning, and then like there's always like a group of like 9 to 10 champs that Korea's like, all right, you pick either these two top laners, you pick these three mids, you pick these three ADCs, and you pick these three supports. FlyQuest was like, how about new
Played their
jungle
own
again?
game.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
they just played league, which is like cool, and you don't see very often in a high competitive league. Like, oh, like they're playing this mid. Well, this really niche pocket pick champion that isn't very picked often actually counters that champion very much. So let me pick that. You don't ever see that very often in like.
Not very often, because
Normally it'll
especially
be
in
like,
international games.
yeah, it'll be like, oh, like Gnar versus Rumble, like sure, Rumble still has the advantage, but Gnar can kind of like do something, and like now it's like, okay, we're playing set, and it's like, wait, what? Like it was just really cool to see that.
Well, in international games, that's typically how it goes is everyone gets there and then waits for the East to figure it out or like follow the East league. Like, oh, East solved the meta. That's what it is. Everyone play that. And as a league viewer, an LCS viewer for a decade at this point, I've been waiting like 7 or 8 years because that's when it just started. Of like, yep, just follow what they're doing, play their game. Guess what? You're never gonna
And
beat
they
them.
play their game way
Yeah,
better
like,
than
you're
like
trying to beat them at their game. You're already at a disadvantage because let's be honest, like, across the board, mechanically, you're probably all just a little worse. It's just like we're talking best players. So then you're gonna, like, what, out macro them? Nice meme. So the West has just gotten dunked forever, minus G2. C9 gets some weird ones, but is flukes and, like, not against the best team. Like, G2 has been they're
yeah.
like the
G2 has been like
Eastern
competent
Western team.
SKT teams like
Yeah.
in worlds and
G2 is
stuff like that.
typically the like if
The
you look at the record of West versus East wins over the last, like, 8 years, 90% are, like, G2. Like,
I
if you
wanted
take out
G2 to
G2,
like
it's
I wanted G2 to get a good draw, like when it was Liquid, like Liquid FlyQuest. I was like, well, great. Like the West is not making any noise in the semis or
mhm,
quarters. Like that kind of sucks. It would have been cool, like if G2 got to finals, like have a Europe team in the finals in Europe would have been pretty
that would've
hype.
been crazy. But I would've worried like, I just hope it would've been competitive. It's like,
Yeah,
it was
like a
fanatic,
3-0 just
yeah,
bust.
years
Like, yeah.
ago, ugh. But so, FlyQuest ends up winning game 3, and at this point, I'm like, "Okay, pause.
You're
This
on
is
your
wild."
TSM tings. Like you're on
Oh, yeah. I'm like, "Hold up. We're up 2-1. They're playing their own game. Game 2, they kinda, like, didn't draft as different, so I was like, "Okay." But game 3, they started to pull out some of their stuff again, they're playing their game, and that's the thing, it was every game, they just looked good. It wasn't like a one-game fluke where, like, "Oh, okay, Gen G's just like, okay," they're like, "Oh, we're gonna play serious now." Nah, like, FlyQuest is here to play. So I'm like, "Oh my
Yeah,
god."
so like game one, FlyQuest played Galio top, which is a pretty pocket pick.
Uh-huh. Very.
Jin Zhao jungle, which is pretty common. Seraphine mid, which isn't very common.
Yeah, they caught him with the
Uh
flex.
yeah. And then Ash support, or no, Ash ADC, and then Alistair support. So that was cool. Like they picked Seraphine and probably Genji's thinking like, oh, Seraphine support. And then they flexed it to mid, like which was really
Well,
cool.
and the draft pick there was big brain. We're getting into stuff right here, so what the fudge are you talking about?
Yeah. This
The
is
Seraphine Galio was huge because they had Rumble
I can
and
tell you right here.
some
I have it right here. They had Rumble, Skarner, Ari, Jinx, and Leona.
yeah. So especially for like the Rumble, but for their team fight and to prevent Jinx from getting excited early, they have the huge Seraphine shield with Galio ult shield. Uh, so they were just like face tanking Rumble equalizers. I think that caught them off surprise. But yeah, so they win game 3, and then I'm starting to be like, oh no, now I'm believing.
Now I'm
I'm
gonna
like,
get hurt.
and that's when I text Rob. I'm just like, hey, you watching League? I'm freaking out, but I didn't want to like spoil anything.
Yeah.
Um, he didn't say anything for a little while, so I'm like, I'm just not gonna say anything. But like for those unaware too, like I cannot like this might have been the biggest upset ever in League of Legends history. Like this wasn't like a oh no, I'm talking like
Yeah, it would have
the
been probably
odds.
yeah, it probably was like I mean, and on general pickums, I think Cadril looked. I think it was like 93% were picking Gen G, and it was like 7% had picked FlyQuest.
And they're probably just memeing, trying to get free points or something. Like
Yeah, like,
Gamba. Like it ain't no way 7% actually think they're gonna win. They go into game 4. Game 4 was probably the weakest on FlyQuest. I'm like, okay, that's all right. Again, drafted a little more like the Eastwood in game 4, like they did game 2. So
yeah.
I'm like, okay, like just get into game 5, play your game. This is it. There's
Oh,
nothing like put it all on the line. Let's get this. Game 5,
insane draft.
sure enough, they go set top, first pick of all worlds. Ain't see no set.
I don't
Huh?
even think we've seen set at Worlds, have we?
Yeah, no, that
Before
was the
this?
first pick. That was the first pick.
Yeah.
And then Fiddlesticks Jungle.
That was
Not
I
seen
went nuts. Like
yeah,
when I was like,
I think the last fiddle pick in professional at top was, like, they mentioned inspired himself in, like, 2022. He
It's
hadn't
just
seen
cool to
fiddle in
like
forever.
see these picks. Like, you never see these champs. Whenever you're watching competitively, you're like, all right, like as a top laner, it's like, all right, I'm watching Rumble, I'm watching Cassante, and now I'm watching whatever that new champ is, for the love of God. Um,
Oh, Smolder. Freaking
no, the new lady,
Aurora.
whatever her name is. No, the newest lady. Have you
Yeah.
seen her? No, like
Oh, you
the
mean
one,
not in
like
Worlds, yeah.
yeah, the one that is gonna
Am
be just Ambrosia.
Ambessa?
I
I'm
don't
like,
know,
talk
but
about creep, like, what the power creep.
but
But anyway,
definitely probably the most hyped series ever.
yeah.
Like
So we go to game 5, and at that point, I can't even be mad either. I'm like, "Okay,
you got your FlyQuest
they"
jersey, your foam fingers,
yeah,
like
woo! I'm like, "They have already far exceed expectations. They've pushed Gen G to the limit, um, still rocking their own game, their own picks. They're gonna do what they wanna do." They fumble, though, and let Smolder through, and, it was I
I
mean,
don't get Smolder. So like he blows that thing and then he gets like an elder buff stack, like almost
it's like
like
a
he
stack.
he can
Yeah,
like
and so
execute at certain points in the game.
at, like, 225 stacks or something, I don't know the exact limits, but, yeah, once he, uh, reached those stacks, I think abilities I don't know if it's all autos, but an ability will apply the, like, essentially elder buff where, like, it'll set an execute threshold,
Mhm.
and then if he's damaged or applies that and then it hits, they just get
They just
executed.
die.
Um, and it's OP, and Chovy's just insane on him, he just got fed. Uh, FlyQuest went for this Baron Hail Mary, which would have worked if, like, literally 1 or 2 seconds, Gen G was slower to that play,
Yeah.
and then it would have been a ball game, but they also knew they were just getting outscaled, like, "There, we gotta
They
do
were
it." But
down at
anyway,
that point like 4 or 5K gold. So it was like we
yeah.
need to do this or we're just going to like get slowly choked out. Like we're like
But
it's either
point
we get
is,
shot in the head right now or we slowly get choked out.
they lost, unfortunately. Gen G ends up winning. Um,
Sad.
and I was sad, but so happy. It's the most alive I've been as an LCS fan in, like,
Well,
probably since,
not
like,
even just like a
I don't
LCS fan,
know.
like a league fan. Like I
Well,
can't
that
remember
too.
the last time you've seen like pocket pick bans. Like I've been watching
Yeah.
probably competitive league probably like a lot, probably since like 2019, 2020. And like my 4 or 5 years of watching, that was probably the first series I've really watched where in the draft it wasn't like, oh, like they picked Cassante. Well, I guess we pick Rumble. It's like, okay, they picked Cassante. What counters Cassante? Like, what like can we pick that, isn't necessarily like, oh, we'll just pick the second best meta champ. Like it was just really cool. And I think hopefully it showed a lot of other teams like in like the world of like that, like you don't have to play their game. Like just do you pick your counter picks, actually play the game of League of Legends. There's a reason why League has 120 champions. Like
Well, at this point, they
to
have, like, 170 or 60.
Jeez. So like to keep the game boxed in this little box of
Yeah.
12 to 15 champions, I think it like this like series probably I hope kind of woke up all the other kind of league teams. It would be like, hey, like in the draft stages, we don't have to like be like meta slaves essentially. Like we can play league and counter pick, have these little niche pocket picks and I think that series did a lot for league more so than like it being like a cool thing for the West. I hope it
Mhm.
really like makes it like a ripple effect throughout
I
like
hope so.
competitive league.
Or wakes the West up at least, or, like, so next international competition, we're like it's not just every game, I'm like, "Well, this is over."
Yeah.
Um, so league aside, that was Pog. I'm excited to go see the finals. Excited to go visit London as well.
Yeah.
Um, but what else has been happening?
I turned 30 yesterday.
Oh,
That
yeah, happy
was
Happy
birthday, Unc.
birthday and grats. Welcome to the club, my friend.
TY. TY. It's good to be here finally.
Did
I
you
had my first glass of warm milk last night.
and did your back start hurting? Did your feet start getting
Feet, I've been
sore?
hurting.
Yeah,
That's
I've
what
yeah.
been
I'm
hurting.
saying. We've been ahead of the curve.
Yeah, so turned the dirty 30 yesterday, which was cool. Didn't really do anything. I'm heading to Disneyland today though.
Oh
Gonna
yeah.
go, yeah, I'm gonna hop on a flight. I got my outfit all picked out.
I think you teased it on Twitter. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
To
Fill
infinity
in
and
the
beyond.
blanks. Yeah. I got a I never had one of these. I've always kind of wanted one, but I got a shiesty for the first time. You know what a
Those are
Oh,
shiesty
you
fun.
get the
is?
shiesty, yeah.
Yeah, check this out.
You got the Buzz Lightyear shiesty.
I've never worn a shiesty before.
Looks like you're about to pull out the loot and entertain me at my
That's
medieval
what a
dinner.
shiesty is, dog.
You
This
look
is what
like
all the kids wear these days.
you look like Thanos sperm.
But yeah, these are what like the kids, the youths wear these days.
Like you're gonna try and like stick me up, and I'm just not gonna take you
But I
seriously.
had to wear it like this because this is how Buzz Lightyear wears it. Normally, you wear a shiesty like this.
There's no way that's like apparel frequently being used by the youth right now.
Oh, 100% is. Swear to God, they love shiesties.
I would say shiesties
I mean, at
have
least like at least I know in the UK. Now I have a lot of friends that are like in the Ireland, Scotland, UK area. I guarantee you, we see a shiesty while we're out in London. Guaranteed.
shiesties have definitely made a resurgence, I will say.
You'll have to point them out for me. Although I guess if that's what it looks like, it'll be pretty
Yeah,
obvious.
it just looks like this. Looks like a ski mask.
Bizarre.
Yeah, but now I get to wear one because I'm Buzz Lightyear.
Look at that. Now, did that come? That came with the thing, right?
Yeah, of course, it did. Yeah,
Okay. So it's meant to be worn like that.
yeah, and then I got like inflatable wings too. So yeah, I'll be at Disneyland, Oogie Boogie. If you're there on the 27th and you see a cool Buzz Lightyear, you know what it did say though, which would be really if say I do meet like a fan that wants to take a picture there. It literally says if you're dressed up as a character, you can't take pictures with other people, as if it's like a meet and greet type of thing. So like I can't like take pictures with people as Buzz Lightyear type of thing. Like if someone was like, "Oh my god, like Buzz
Oh,
Lightyear, can I take a picture with you?" I can't be
I
like,
see.
"Yeah," like and like taking pictures as the character Buzz Lightyear. There's a lot of like
If you're
weird
trying
niche
to
rules.
like, yeah,
Yeah,
I
like
see.
have like a meet and greet type of thing.
Yeah, impersonate Buzz Lightyear, but there's the official Buzz Lightyear somewhere else.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes, I'm
that's how
keeping
get
this on,
in.
by the way.
Fair. No, I think you kind of rock it. Purple's, I think, a part of your color wheel. Maybe
Thank
it's
you.
something you
Yeah.
should experiment with
Yeah.
more. Now you
But
just
yeah,
You
kind of
look
going
look
to
like
like a
Disneyland.
Pikmin.
you know who you
I
kind of look like?
I
You kind of look like Frieza right now.
Actually, a little bit. Whoa.
uh apparently though, Cindy and I are flying into one of the busiest days in LA history in terms of like traffic and stuff. Today is like one of the worst days you can fly into
Any reason?
California today. Yeah, so I think I looked I think it came across my timeline and it said like generational traffic tomorrow in LA. Let me see if I can find
Don't
it.
tempt me with a good time.
Cuz I think it's like let's see. Okay, yeah. So there's a Laker game at crypto.com, the World Series at Dodger Stadium, the USC game, a concert at the Kia Forum, the East LA High School Classic at SoFi Stadium, and a concert at the Clipper Stadium. So there's like 7 different sporting events, concerts
Oh.
going on in LA today.
I've heard there's some elderly
So,
bingo going on over here, so I'm trying to stay away
well,
from the roads.
we're flying into Santa Ana. So I'm hoping that kind of gets us away. Well, we are flying standby as well, so hopefully we gotta make the flight first.
If it's that busy, it might be a little.
Well, the flight looked pretty open. It was 2 essays, including Cindy and I, and then 14 open seats, so we should be
Oh,
chilling.
okay. Rage. We'll send you
Yeah,
your
so
energy.
gonna go to
Energy.
Disneyland. Gonna get drunk there, which would be pretty fun. Gonna go to like the Star Wars land. And then the next day is where you dress up at like Oogie Boogie's place. And then I'll be back and then basically stream until London. And then I think I'm leaving a day
Bum,
after you
bum.
guys. Are you guys doing like that Halloween thing? Like, or what is that
Yeah,
about?
there's some. Well, we're going to. can't remember the name. It's not like Hanging Garden, Sky Garden, maybe Sky Garden something. But we have dinner reservations there the night we go. Um, and then I think other people got reservations separate because they're just Claire and I. But then
Hmm.
afterwards, I guess because it's Halloween, they're later in that night having a Halloween party or whatever. Right, well, we're already gonna be there, and I guess because we already got reservations, we're like we already have access to the party. So we're like, oh, sure, why not? We gotta because the thing too is when we land that day specifically, we gotta stay up because
Yeah.
we're gonna be landing around in the morning. So if we're gonna last week, we
Well,
gotta.
I think we are on the same flights where it's basically like take off at 6, land at like 9 a.m.
Mhm.
like in
I
London.
think so too. Yeah. So can't be sleeping when we get there. We want to try and
Well, that's what's
stand
like
a chance.
kind of nice about getting it a day later is like I hope you guys will be like doing stuff. So it's like, well, we got to go do stuff with them, and they're all gone. So it's like, go like
Yeah,
basically.
we just can't if we don't do anything, stay around the Airbnb. Inevitably, it would.
Yeah,
So
oh, for sure.
we'll keep moving and grooving. Um, what else has been happening?
Um, Call of Duty came out.
I was gonna say Black
Not
Ops, the beta is back.
pro. I Go ahead, Blue.
No, you.
I saw a post and it made me feel so old. It
Oh
was like
no.
basically it's Treyarch, right? Treyarch was
Yeah.
basically saying that like because they're bringing back Nuketown for what, like the gazillionth time. So they're basically bringing
Yeah, I
back
know what you're talking about.
exact like Nuketown, and they were basically be like, yeah, like the player base, like he's like most of the player base hasn't experienced like normal Nuketown, so we're bringing it back for like the player base that hasn't experienced it. And I was like, damn, like
Yeah.
I like you haven't experienced like, but then again, I think about that. When
I
did
remember when I first
Nuketown come
played
out?
Nuketown
Like
when it came out.
14? We were 14 or 13?
I mean, what, 2000 was that
7?
8
8?
or 2008 or 9? I can't remember. But man, yeah, now that I say that, oh, because yeah, I mean, if you think about it, if we were that old when it came out, since then, people playing this game, there could be 15-year-olds who have just like they weren't even born yet. So now they're playing
Yeah.
and
Well, I saw a thing and it was like LeBron and Bronny checking into the game. It was like me and my 8-year-old cousin checking in to play Call of Duty Black Ops 6 together.
all right, suit up. Here we go.
The new zombies looks cool though. I do want to play the new zombies at some point. I do want to do that. Cuz I'm
I
a
mean, I
big
say,
zombies guy. I'm not going to play the multiplayer. I think that side of the gaming, that gamer side of me has disappeared. Like
okay. I
no desire.
I took a quick trip, a little flight to New Zealand yesterday myself.
Oh, you did.
Yeah,
Welcome
and
back.
uh, yeah, it was a great time. But while I was there, got to play the multiplayer early, and I might just be on my black or dark matter camo things. I mean,
Oh, really?
the camo grind isn't as egregious as it could be. There's no riot shield, uh, and frankly, it's just plain fun. It's just some good gameplay right now, so I might act up. I don't know. I already got 1 gold. We're 1/25th of the way.
Dang.
Um,
So
but
you're gonna like play it. You're gonna be grinding.
well, yeah, and I mean, they brought back classic prestige too. They know how to get me. There's the
What
classic
level is it?
10
55?
prestiges. I haven't looked, but I would somewhere between 50 or 60 if I had to guess.
Yeah, it's
Um,
always they always change it for some reason.
but I don't know
Are the
when
are
the
the prestige
Warzone
logos
update
cool?
comes out.
Have those
Well, there's
leaked at
actually
all?
been some drama with that because they're AI generated.
Oh.
Um, don't know how like, what
How do they know?
your
Like there's
activist.
like
No, you can just look at it.
oh, you can just
Um,
tell? I gotta see.
well, I mean, it's more like at the naked eye, you're just like, "Oh, I see it." But there's, like, one where, like, he has, like, an, M4 in his back, and there's just random pipes and, like, things that just aren't on the gun. Or, there's, like, a zombie, and his tongue is just mush. It's just, like, typical AI art
Basically
doing
like
stuff.
things like that would not get past like a normal like graphic
Yeah.
designer or something like that.
Well, and then it's just like, "Bro, you're Call of Duty. You're gonna tell
You've
me you
got
couldn't?
you've got infinite budget.
Yeah, you couldn't even. Well, that's the bizarre thing too. Is like, who knows? Maybe they could have used it as an AI template and then had their like as a base, maybe, and then we wouldn't have known if their artist came over it. But, but I
Yeah,
guess they
some of
didn't.
these
Or if
look
they did,
ass.
How does that get
Like the
through?
robot one, it literally looks like someone just like cropped like a robot like head, and it's like
I
that's
think that's
bad.
from. They say what they're inspired by. I think that was Advanced Warfare a
Well,
little while
yeah,
ago.
but like that still is just
Yeah.
is not even like they just like cropped
I mean,
a head of a character.
yeah. The other thing too is if really the only way you see the prestige in game is next to a player's dude on the lot, like on the scoreboard, you would have never noticed. And I'm sure at that tiny, like they look fine. They look like a normal prestige emblem. Um, but yeah, I would love to hear the reasoning why. Just a bit bizarre. Or like whoever, there had to have been some person who did it and then okayed it. Like, how did you not? It's bizarre. But anyway, um, otherwise, yeah, been having fun with the multiplayer. Um, since I was in New Zealand and it was early, it's hard to say just how many sweats there are because like I was consistently finding some of the same people, but then I was like,
Yeah,
okay, well, the game's technically not out.
yeah. I
And
was gonna
people
say
people
like
moving to New Zealand, and then
because the only people that
there
are
still
doing what
is
you're
skill
doing are
based.
the ones that like really want to play.
Well, yeah,
Like,
that's why I was like, man, I feel like these guys are really into it. But then I think I recorded a video and I mentioned that too. But then I'm like, but then again, is is the dad working 9 to 5, skipping work Thursday to move to New Zealand?
yeah,
Probably not. Like the people
pretty
doing it,
unlikely.
yeah, are definitely more the fanatics. So it
But
was
I'm
good to
glad to
try
hear
though.
you're enjoying it, which means like I'll probably play it then. I got my review code, so
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know when the Warzone thing comes out. Because that's the thing too, is I don't know what interest will be like for videos and whatnot. Because I mean that's what I think about too. It's like my Call of Duty multiplayer videos, people used to like those. All right, and then Warzone released for the first time, and then nobody started caring about regular multiplayer. So I'll enjoy it until Warzone comes out.
do
And then
people still play Warzone?
yeah,
Like, is
oh yeah.
that like and it's like
Oh,
its own engine though, right? So like is Treyarch taking over what Warzone is? Like or how's that
no,
working?
I mean I don't know. It's all sort of part of the same, which is also why like some of the complaints is like you can't have wacky stuff added to the normal game in order to do that because then you can't have that in Warzone or stuff like so you just won't quite get like Advanced Warfare do like jetpacks or whatever. Like, you probably aren't going to be seeing stuff like that.
Yeah.
Or if they do, like who knows how they'll work it in. But I think
Mhm.
that has been one downside is like them being married. So that
Yeah.
it
To
helps
whatever
because
like that
like
engine type thing is.
yeah, people get to carry over their stuff, but it also just makes it a little more complicated. But yeah, I mean, as far as like the normie BR, I mean, yeah, like Warzone and Call of Duty is still doing more than fine.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm excited to try the zombies. Like that's really and because it looks like the brown based zombies. I haven't looked too much into it, but if you guys are
Yeah, me
trying to
neither.
game zombies when I'm back, I'm super down.
I'll have to give it a shot.
The sad part is I'm excited for the Warzone zombies.
Yeah, you're like the Warzone zombie one.
I'm the
Like I
I'm
remember
the
you were grinding that.
I'm that dickhead who loves the Warzone zombies. So catch me
Yeah.
on both, but I'll probably
Is
be
that
grinding Warzone zombies.
does that release now with the game too, or is that like season 1 or something?
They said they're doing both.
Yep.
Um and I wouldn't be surprised if it launches with it because Warzone Zombies was the most played zombies they've ever had. So I
I
I
mean, it's
mean,
like normifying the zombies. It makes it more approachable.
it's true. I know a lot of people love, round based zombies, and the community for that is extremely diehard, but as a company, they're gonna be like,
I think it's the
whoa.
right move.
They're gonna be like, whoa, a lot of people played Warzone Zombies. We should probably do that one again. So, and I love Warzone Zombies. It's just, I'm just still a freak for open sandbox, PVE, co-op, anything. Just slut me out. and I'll be there for it. I will be there no matter what. And
And the good news is, just like you said, people don't have to choose. Best of
sure,
both worlds. You like round based? You got your round based. But if you like your Warzone zombies,
Best of both worlds.
you get the best. But yeah, it'll be cool.
now in this thing, now in the show.
Call of Duty's back, as it
Now,
always
Call of
is
Duty's
every
not
year.
coming out again next year, right?
No,
Like
it is.
they're. Oh, it is.
I can guarantee
Yeah.
you it is.
I
Okay.
think
I thought it was like a whole like they're taking bigger breaks in between games thing. Like I thought that was starting now.
well, I think the way they're who's making them or there's something like that. I don't remember. But I think there's a leak already, of course, about next year's, and I think it's still Black Ops, but set I want to say like modern day. Trying to remember. But yeah, I mean like Call of Duty will find a way to have something to release
For sure.
every year for sure.
100%.
And it'll like I think because it'll carry over a lot of like this new Black Ops engine with like the omnidirectional movement and um all that sort of stuff. But I guess it would make sense too because Black Ops has gone all around, but this one is the 90s. So if we get like a little more modern or something, it's all over the place. But I can't keep up. My only problem or my only complaint already is there's already like weird robot skin and like barbed wire
Uh,
zombie dude and um like and that's just with like I think if you got like the Vault edition or something.
mm-hmm.
Um but knowing this is bare minimum. Because I remember hopping into what was it? I don't remember what it was. Some game, but like I'm fighting like Groot. Like I can't even see. There's like Groot and like Homeland or something. Like I'm fighting
Hey, what is going on?
like I'm in Fortnite. Yeah, it's like what is this is bizarre. Um, and it was just like overload. But then again, money.
It's
Yeah.
true.
It's always the asterisk. But money.
Yeah, I always see like the guns in that game that are like a $60 gun that have these crazy inspect stuff.
Yeah.
Like,
Like a
jeez.
whole universe thing like happening. It's like who's gonna do this? I think most of those are like
Exactly. It's like you
Call of
got
Duty Mobile.
yeah, you die so fast. Like
Yeah.
when are
I mean
you
it's
even gonna like
cool.
yeah.
Um which oh, speaking of crossovers, we saw the Destiny 2 For Honor crossover. Or I guess the
Yeah,
For Honor Destiny
congratulations.
2
That was made
crossover.
for you.
8 years too late. Um Pretty wild though, because I was like, oh, kind of came out of nowhere. And then it's like an actual like special For Honor game mode, and then they have Destiny skins. So like I don't know which one, like the Viking is like Shax, the Raider. I'm trying to remember all of them. Peacekeepers, like a hunter sort of thing. Um, and then it's like this PvE game mode, I think, against the Scorch or the Scorn. Um, and I was actually like, wow, it's actually like there's
This
like
looks
some
kind of
decent,
cool.
yeah, some decent effort in this. And I'm trying to see if I'm trying to collab with Asdacross and Zanny to do it. But Asdacross has like strep throat, doesn't feel that great, and then I leave soon, so I don't know if I'll get to. Um, but you know, I'll always stand for honor. I'm still glad they're kicking after 8 something years.
Yeah, I
Um,
was pretty surprised to see that collab.
but still want a sequel because like even though the game's kicking and stuff, it's not like blowing up or reaching new people like a sequel would. But and content and all that sort of stuff because Ubisoft could have also very easily been like, "Nah, you're cut off." So, like,
Yeah.
they must be making just enough for them to keep, like, some amount of crew working on something. So,
Yeah. Is there anything else we want to touch on before we switch on to some Q&A? I know we got to finish a little bit early today. All right,
I
let's
ain't got
do it.
nothing.
Let's do it.
Lumberlord says, now that you guys have some experience in Deadlock, is there anything specific you'd like to change about it? I haven't played in a minute.
I haven't played in a minute either.
Yeah, I want it to just be 1-0 ready. Just Just fast
I did
forward.
see the ranks that you put in the chat. That was cool.
Yeah,
Excited to
there's
see
rank
that.
mode now. Yeah, I mean, really, it's hard to say what I'd like to see anyway, because like every
Yeah.
2 weeks are some pretty big overhauls. Um, so yeah, it's just like I want to see what this is like full release. Give it to me. Um, Especially because it'll drum up some more hype again, and then content will be doing a little bit better, and then I just get to play the game more often.
Mm. Five head.
So, yes, throat
Um,
icing.
I need just like a skin economy. That game just needs some sort of skin
I
economy,
want
and
skins so bad because
yeah, I want like a TF2 like type thing. Like
I love the base characters, like they're really cool, but like especially in a MOBA, I want like the character to reflect what what I really want in a character. So like I'm really fucking in it. Like I'm immersed as fuck. So I need some fucking skins.
yeah, especially like with how Valve has like handled like the skin economy and stuff like that. Like I would assume they're gonna do what they do like with Dota in Deadlock, which is have their own kind of special like shop and all that kind of stuff where you can get cool. I don't know how they'll do it, if it's like hats or cosmetics, like a whole thing, but I'm just ready for it. I think it's gonna be sweet. Like that's what I need.
I'd to
And
guess
I
that's gonna be coming much later in the pipeline when the
yeah, for
game
sure.
is.
That'll
Yeah.
probably be like after 1.0 is out and all that kind of stuff.
I think
I'm
it'll come
sure.
out with 1.0, but like
Really? Y-
beta maybe has like some implementation, or like I wouldn't be surprised if at some point, if they are doing like skins, they just test them and just like, here you are, use it just to like test what we maybe want a skin to look like, or what does it do, or does it even work, blah blah blah. But I
Cuz
don't think like an economy or anything like that's
what
gonna be
would
a
be a
thing.
knife? Like what would be, like what would be something that you see every round type of thing? Like or something on a character that you would recognize like, "Oh my gosh, that uh I can't even think of a character now. That character has that hat on that I really like." Like I just don't know like what the like item will be, but it needs that.
I wonder if you could
One
they'll explore uh soul skins. So you
like
could
your
like,
like ultimates like
no, like you last hit like a melee minion or whatever, and then the soul that comes up, you get like a skin
oh.
for that or something.
Yeah, I
I
can
feel like
see
there's
that.
different ways.
Yeah.
You could do like kill animations or like effects. You get the last hit and that has an effect or something. It all depends on also like how far they want to go to where it doesn't disrupt gameplay
Yeah.
quality. Like it's not so insane. It's like, what the fudge is happening?
Mhm. One lax says you can telepathically say one sentence to everyone in a language each person will understand. What do you say? I say this is just a test, and then everyone's like, "What the fuck? Like what? Like
I would do the Hawaii notification.
yeah, okay, that like a missile's coming."
Yeah, like this is not a
Okay.
drill. That'd be fucked up.
See, I would say this is a drill because then they'd be like, "Wait, what? Like what happens when it's not a drill?" They're all in my head. Like that's. I think that'd be more fun.
Um, yeah, I've always seen the Reddit threads about this. It is always funny. I think one of the easy ones just to troll would just be like, you just say a number, like 5. No
No, like
explanation. So now everyone's like, did you all? Everyone heard 5, and then everyone's gonna freak out and try and figure out what in the world it means. Um, or something where like you make it seem like you accidentally like peeled back the simulation for a second, or like, wait, who put? I told you. Wait, no, like to turn this off. Something, and it's like,
oh yeah, that'd be good
yeah,
too.
something like that.
Pop Kurt says, "Would you rather have Goku's or Satuma's powers?" If I'm saying that correctly.
Atama.
Goku.
Who's that?
He's One Punch.
One
Oh,
Punch
probably
Man.
Goku. Yeah.
Goku's so
Yeah,
cool, bro.
Goku has hair. That's kind of important.
That's true too. That's true too.
As you
Man's
guys can
got a
see,
lot
this
of
is
it
what I
too.
would look like if I was bald. And it's not very
You just need a
flattering.
yellow jumpsuit and a red cape, and I wouldn't be able to tell the difference. Yeah,
Butt chin.
Goku. I mean, he's just. I mean, I think Saitama can sort of fly or something. But like, I mean, Goku's got instant transmission. He's got insane powers. I mean, like practically. I mean, bro, it's just him, right? And then also, I don't know about One Punch, but like, Goku as a Saiyan ages slower, um, live longer. Apparently, the metabolism of a god. So
Uh, Kara says, genuinely curious and feel free not to answer this. It is too personal. But what form of content has been the most profitable in your guys' career, as in the pod, streams, YouTube, or anything else related?
like,
I mean,
wait,
definitely my Twitch
just as
streams.
a whole,
I think so. Like,
yeah. Well, I mean, YouTube videos.
in terms of like a month thing, like probably during the Among Us thing for me, like for Twitch streaming and all that kind of stuff.
Really, like specific YouTube. Yeah, it'd be like Among Us.
Anything for you, Blue?
I don't know. I don't think I've had a successful career, but I would say the one time I was like, this is pretty nice. Look at us, guys. Was probably around Overwatch start beginning where we could just have a bunch of the dream team members just fuck around. That was my
Yeah.
favorite
The good
content
old days.
cycle.
Be like, yo, we have too many people, bro. Like, sorry, type shit.
But we could fit just about everyone in, and that's where
Custom
we
games. And
that's where we had a lot of people come in. Like we had Dork. That's when we had Shark. That's when we had so many people like really get to like
Everybody.
dip their feet in and be goofy together. And yeah,
Esquire
fun.
says, so with all the PC problems Fruit has had, with my question is, would you redo the whole setup with an Omega PC or keep the 2 PC setup for streaming and recording?
Jokes on you. They're both Omega PCs. Doesn't matter. In fact, yeah, I have a new streaming PC coming here in a couple days. Because if you tried to watch my last 2 streams, I can't even stream. It's just broken.
That's so weird.
Yeah.
And it's like you weren't even trying to play like a crazy game. We were trying to play like Liars.
I mean, yeah, even if I
Liars
was just
Bar.
sitting, I tried it later, and even if I try and record and stream, it breaks. And then I realized my tech issues can extend beyond computers to other tech,
Oh,
like my car, which just failed to start.
didn't you get? Is this the
After
new
its
whip?
25,000 mile checkup, no, it's my Camry.
Oh, okay.
And then it's just saying like smart key system malfunction. I'm like, what? Like it won't start. Everything's flickering, and then things start clatting around, and it's just like I can't turn it off. It keeps beeping at me. And then it's like, check your manual, and the manual goes, yeah, you got to bring this thing in, bro. I'm like,
Well,
sweet.
now I can't move it. Like,
Yeah. So a tow truck came yesterday. It's like, man,
that
and catch a
sucks.
break. And that's the other thing too, is like it wouldn't start newfangled things too. Like it doesn't even have there's technically a key in the fob you can take out, but that's to
I was
unlock the
gonna
door.
say, like,
There's no
isn't there like
physical ignition. I can't even like take the key and do a physical ignition.
see, dude, that's what is the problem with driving those microwaves. You know,
I'm
like,
saying, man.
sure, like you're saving up on gas and shit, but then like something goes wrong and now now you're screwed. You just got a
I'm just glad
glorified
it
big
happened
ol'
at home.
yeah,
I don't have that somewhere.
facts. Feels says, if you could spend the next hour of your life in any past hour of your life, which would it be?
Any hour of my life in the past hour?
Yeah, so like you have 1 hour to live a past hour in your life. I'd probably say the last hour of my wedding.
Yeah, I'd probably go either towards the end of the wedding or the ceremony. I'd like to relive that again.
Yeah. Mr. Westlow?
I don't know. I don't really want to relive anything. I feel like I spend so much time looking forward now that I don't really want to look back.
It's a good way to look at things. Johnny Appleseed says the Dream Team and the Extended Dream Team are in a murder mystery movie. What's the plot and who died? I'm gonna say,
Somebody
we
died, and they're
are
trying to figure out if there's probable cause.
no. So we're at Dado's pack opening. Okay, we're at Dado's pack opening. Dado invites everybody. Everybody's invited. Okay, even math class people. So this is like a math class Dream Team kind of thing. As we're opening packs, the stream dies, cuts out, and then okay, so this is like a perspective from, not only is it a murder mystery in the house, it's a murder mystery on chat. So this is all live streamed. So as we're opening packs, stream cuts out, but as the stream cuts out, internet cuts out, lights cut out the house. Okay, we hear a scream. It's Dado's scream. We run upstairs. Dado is dead in his woman cosplay.
Dado does that.
Yeah. So Dado is now dead, and there is a tell card that is next to him, and it's a Pokemon card. It's a Gengar. Dado's favorite Pokemon,
Spooky.
and it says "Turn me over," and it says one of the murderers is in this house, and then the stream comes back on.
And then the door opens suddenly, shuts
Oh,
behind, and we go, "What?" Daniel
yeah.
Craig. He's here to figure it
Whoa!
out.
No
solve the mystery.
Oh
way!
my god.
Then we realize Dado said he knew his murder was coming
And
and that this would come. And he contacted Daniel Craig because he knew he wasn't just playing a character. He is the world's greatest detective.
at one point, I get really scared, and Daniel Craig holds me very tightly and tells me everything's gonna be okay. And then he caresses my soft.
Oh,
Let's go to the next question. We'll go to the last question. Morp Jorp says, longtime listener, first time asker. Is Mr. Fruit still working on that board game? And has Rob watched Assassination Classroom yet? Assassination Classroom is like with that weird teacher that has like a smiley face.
Yeah, the emoji teacher.
Yeah.
never heard of it.
I've watched a couple episodes. It's fun, but like it wasn't like I gotta keep watching this.
As for my board game, the prototype is still right over there that I have not touched in like 3 years because I forgot to get back to it at one point, and then the hyperfocus left, and now it just sits there taunting
I was
me.
like, do you still remember the rules?
Mostly. I mean, I should have them written down, right? Yeah, they're probably
You think?
you would hope. But I would like to eventually finish that, or just do like a fun little card game collection or something. I want to do something. I think it'd be fun.
Okay, well, actually, end on this question because it's kind of fun. Caraxi says, math question of the week. What is 20% of 40% of 50% of 100?
20% of 40%. Oh, wait,
Of
what?
50% of 100.
So 50.
And then it has multiple
then-
choice. It says A2, B4, C10, D6.
Well, hold on. So it's 50. And then
What's 40% of 50?
that would be 20. And then what a what?
20% of 40%. So 20%
Oh, 2?
So your answer is 2?
I think so.
Okay, my answer is I wouldn't have been able to get that far. So good for you to find like an answer that was actually on the multiple choice. I can't tell you how many times I do a math question for multiple choice and then get the answer and then go like, none of the answers I got is on this test.
Here, I'll do it. 100 times 100. What is 40%?
100% is like, so 50% of 100, which is 50, and then it was 40% of that, and then 20% of that.
Oh, yeah. No, I messed up. It's 4.
It's 4?
Yeah. Because I was thinking 2 is 10%, but it's 20, not 10. so it doesn't go into it 10 times.
See, I don't like those questions. It's just trying to trick you up to be tricky. Like it's not
It's really tricky. It was just division.
It was tricky for me.
Sure.
And tricky for our listeners who just finished listening to this podcast.
No.
Oh, I know, unfortunately. Thank you guys all for listening and hanging out today. Appreciate you guys all listening. We will be back next week before we leave for London. I'll have an update on my Disney trip and some other things to talk about on next week's podcast. See you guys then. Bye.
Bye.